Hello, friends. Welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through the end of 2025. In this video, we're in Leviticus, chapter 27, also known as the end of Leviticus. So, 3 chapters of the Old Testament down. As soon as we finish this one. As soon as we finish today's reading. So let's jump in. Redeeming what is the Lord's. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if anyone makes a special vow to dedicate persons to the Lord by giving equivalent values, set the value of a male between the ages of 20 and 60, 50 shekels of silver," and that is about 1 1/4 pounds, or 0.6 kilograms. I'm sure that's going to be the sanctuary shekel equivalent. According to the sanctuary shekel, that's what I said. That's about 2/5 of an ounce, or 11.5 grams. That's okay. We're then here. And if it's a female, set her value at 30 shekels. That is 12 ounces, or 0.3 kilograms. If it is a person between the ages of 5 and 20, the value of a male set at 20 shekels. That is about 8 ounces, or about 2 kilograms. And of a female, 10 shekels. That is about 1 1/4 ounces, or 35 grams. If it is a person between 1 month and 5 years, set the value of the male at 5 shekels. And F, that is 2 ounces, or 55 grams. Of silver. And if that is a female, 3 shekels of silver. That is about 1 1/4 ounce, or 35 grams. If it is a person 60 years old or more, set the value of the male at 15 shekels. So it's not just gender discrimination. We got age discrimination too, okay? 15 shekels for a male. 60 years or older. And that is, there we go. I have to find where I was here. We're at H. Here we go. That is 6 ounces, or 170 grams. And if it's a female, 10 shekels. That is probably about, what is it? No, just 10 shekels. It doesn't even give a weight for that. Just 10 shekels. Not even more. If anyone making the vow is too poor to pay the specified amount, he is to present the person to the priest, who will set the value for him according to what the man making the vow can afford. If what he vowed is an animal that is an acceptable offering, as an offering to the Lord, such an animal given to the Lord becomes holy. He must not exchange it or substitute a good one for a bad one, or a bad one for a good one. If he should substitute one animal for another, both it and the substitute become holy. If what he vowed is a ceremonially unclean animal, one that is not acceptable as an offering to the Lord, the animal must be presented to the priest, who will judge its quality as good or bad. Whatever the value the priest then sets, that is what it'll be. If the owner wishes to redeem the animal, he must add 1/5 of it to his value. So if he wants to put the animal up as collateral and come back with money, they'll let him do that. If a man dedicates his house as something holy to the Lord, the priest will judge its quality as good or bad. Whatever value the priest then sets, so it will remain. If the man who dedicates his house redeems it, he must add a fifth to its value, and the house will become his. Now let's talk for a second about that unclean versus clean animal. They could be putting up something as an offering, like a food offering, so it has to be a clean animal so they can eat it, or sacrifice it as a burnt offering, because there's a list of what's acceptable or not. But there are animals that are beasts of burden that are not food, that could also be given, that have a value, because they're trying to you're talking about making a vow, so it's sort of like as if you were entering into a legal contract with someone. I swear that I will do this thing. Here's what I'm offering as collateral to swear it, but you're putting it before the priest, so it's a vow before God. If a man, that's verse 16, if a man dedicates to the Lord part of his family land, its value is set according to the amount of seed required for it. 50 shekels of silver to a homer, that's I, that is probably about 6 bushels or 220 liters. Of barley seed. If he dedicates his field during the year of Jubilee, the value that has been set remains. But if he dedicates his field after Jubilee, the priest will determine the value according to the number of years until the next Jubilee, because it has to go back to them. And its set value will be reduced. If the man who dedicates the field wishes to redeem it, he must add a fifth to its value, and the field will again become his. If, however, he does not redeem the field, or if he had sold it to someone else, it can never be redeemed. When the field is released in Jubilee, it will become holy, like a field devoted to the Lord. It will become the property of the priest. If you don't go redeem it before Jubilee, it becomes property of the priest, or priest, depending upon who it was, placed in the care of. Because essentially, it becomes the care of the priest during that whole time. You don't get it, back. If a man dedicates to the Lord a field he has brought, which is not part of his family land, the priest will determine its value up to the year of Jubilee. The man must pay its value on that day as something holy to the Lord. In the year of Jubilee, the field will revert to the person from whom he bought it, the one whose land it was. Every value is to be set according to the sanctuary shekelled, 20 gerahs to the shekel. No one, however, may dedicate the firstborn of an animal, since the firstborn already belongs to the Lord, whether an ox, and the Hebrew word for this can be both male and female, or a sheep, it is the Lord's. If it is one of the unclean animals, he may buy it back at its set value, adding a fifth of the value to it. If he does not redeem it, it is to be sold at its set value. But nothing that a man owns and devotes, it's like, the Hebrew term refers to irrecoverably giving over things or persons to the Lord. Like you don't ever get it back. To the Lord, whether man or animal or family land, must be sold or redeemed. Everything so devoted is most holy to the Lord. No person devoted to destruction, B, the Hebrew term refers, it's M. The Hebrew term refers to the irrevocable giving over of things or persons to the Lord by totally destroying them. So burning something up. May be ransomed. No person devoted to destruction may be ransomed. He must be put to death. A tithe of everything from the land, whether grain from the soil or fruit from the trees, belongs to the Lord. It is holy to the Lord. If a man redeems any of his tithe, he must add a fifth to its value. The entire tithe of the herd and flock, every 10th animal that passes under the shepherd's rod, will be holy to the Lord. He must not pick out the good from the bad or make any substitution. If he does make a substitution, but the animal and its substitute become holy and cannot be redeemed. These are the commands the Lord gave Moses on Mount Sinai for the Israelites. And with that, friends, we are at the end of another chapter of the Bible. Until the next video. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study, and we are starting book 4 of the Bible for this channel, of the Old Testament. Anyway, so now in this video, we're in the NIF, and we will be through the end of 2025. We are in Numbers, and we are doing chapter 1 of Numbers. We just got quite a few verses, so let's just jump in, all right? The census. The Lord spoke to Moses in the tent of meeting, in the desert of Sinai, on the first day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year after the Israelites came out of Egypt. He said, "Take a census of the whole Israelite community by their clans and families, listing every man by name, one by one. You and Aaron are to number their divisions, all the men in Israel 20 years old or more who are able to serve in the army. One man from each tribe, each the head of his family, is to help you. These are the names of the men who are to assist you. From Reuben, Elzer, son of Shader. From Simeon, Shemuel, son of Zerushadai. From Judah, Nashon, son of Aminadab. Issachar, from Issachar, Nathaniel, son of Zurah. From Zebulun, Elab, son of Helam. From the sons of Joseph. From Ephraim, Elishama, son of Aminad, yeah. From Manasseh, Gamiel, son of Pedazur. From Benjamin, Abdon, son of Gideoni, Gideoni, Gideoni is how I'm going to say that. From Dan, Ahazar, son of Ammishaddai. From Asher, Pagiel, son of Okran. From Gad, all right, Eliasaph, okay. Elisap, son of Deuel, Deuel, like dual with an E, an extra E before the U, okay. From Naphtali, Ahira, son of Enan. These were, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing any, like some of those I'm sure of, others of those I'm like, sounds like this to me. And close, usually I'm pretty close. These were the men appointed from the community, the leaders of their ancestral tribes. They were the heads of the clans of Israel. Moses and Aaron took these men whose names had been given, and they called the whole community together on the first day of the 2nd month. The people indicated their ancestry by their clans and families, and the men 20 years or older were listed by name one by one, as the Lord commanded Moses, and so he counted them in the desert of Sinai. Now, from the descendants of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel, all the men 20 years or older or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name one by one according to the records of their clans and their families. The number from the tribe of Reuben was 46,500. And there are 11 more tribes. Okay. From the descendants of Simeon, all men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were counted and listed by name one by one according to the record of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Simeon was 59,300. From the descendants of Gad, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. That the number from the tribe of Gad was 46,650. So just so you get this, you have roughly 150,000 people. And we have just three of the tribes. Okay. From the descendants of Judah, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to their records of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Judah was 74,600. From the descendants of Issachar, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Issachar was 54,400. From the descendants of Zebulun, that's almost 300,000 people before we get to Zebulun. Okay. From the descendants of Zebulun, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and their families. The number of the tribe of Zebulun was 57,400. So now we are indeed over that mark. We're over that 300, you're up at the 300,000 mark for sure. So, from the sons of Joseph, from the descendants of Ephraim, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The numbers from the tribe of Ephraim was 40,500. From the descendants of Manasseh, all of the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and their families. The number from the tribe of Manasseh was 32,200. Now, that means of Joseph's sons, you actually have to add those two numbers together to get the one tribe from Joseph. Okay. From the descendants of Benjamin, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The number of the tribe of Benjamin was 35,400. From the descendants of Dan, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Dan was 62,700. Okay. From the descendants of Asher, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Asher was 41,500. From the descendants of Naphtali, all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the records of their clans and families. The number from the tribe of Naphtali was 53,400. These were the men, this is just the fighting men, not the rest of the tribes, not the women, not the children, not anybody in there, older than, I'm going to say probably 50 according to their stuff, because it's 60. They have a sudden drop off in value. So I'm not sure what their cutoff age is there, but 20 and older, if they weren't able to fit, in the army or for whatever the reasons are. All right. So what I'm saying is way more people than whatever they're listing. These were the men counted by Moses and Aaron, the 12 leaders of Israel, each one representing his family. All the Israelites 20 years old or more who were able to serve in Israel's army were counted according to their families. The total number was 603,550. So just imagine that. If you're some town somewhere in there, even if you got some walls, and you're just in the middle of the Middle East, it's it's the Beast era, and it's just a roving band of city with clearly got to be over 1 million people in it, because there's over 600,000 people just in the army. So yeah. I can see why surrounding areas might have been worried. I mean, it totally made sense to me. The families of the tribe of Levi, however, were not counted along with the others. The Lord said to Moses, "You must not count the tribe of Levi or include them in the census of the other Israelites. Instead, appoint the Levites to be in charge of the tabernacle of the testimony over all its furnishings and everything belonging to it. They are to carry the tabernacle and all its furnishings. They are to take care of it and encamp around it. Whenever the tabernacle is to move, the Levites are to take it down. Whenever the tabernacle is to be set up, and whenever the tabernacle is to be set up, the Levites shall do it. Okay, so they have to take it down. They have to put it up. They have to travel it. They got to make it move. Anyone else who goes near it shall be put to death. So very clearly. Absolutely no assistance else for anyone else can be having it. Okay. The Israelites are to set up their tents by division, each man in his own camp under his own standard. The Levites, however, are to set up their tents around the tabernacle of the testimony so that wrath will not fall on the Israelite community. Ooh. Oh, you know what that is? That is a buffer zone. Think of it as almost sort of like a nuclear blast kind of thing. But God has set aside the Levites as a tribe of priests to be set aside as holy. Because remember, they're not allowed to put themselves in a state of unholiness, so that they're holy enough around the tabernacle so that if the rest of the community is sinning, he doesn't just immediately nuke everybody else around them, because they have the ability to bring and ask for the forgiveness of the sins. And that's so he doesn't leave. It becomes the priest's problem to make sure that they're holy before they get anywhere near that tent of meeting. The Levites, however, are to set up their tents around the tabernacle of testimony so that the wrath will not fall on the Israelite communities. The Levites are responsible for the care of the tabernacle of the testimony. The Israelites did all this just as the Lord commanded Moses. So everybody complied. Until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland, Bible Study Part 2. We are still in the Niv. We're still just going to move past that. We are in the Book of Mark. We are in chapter 10. We are doing, sorry, I bumped into things. My bookmark from my other spot in the Bible, the tiger bookmark, is trying to escape. The tiger's trying to escape, so I'm like, no. And then I'm bumping into things. We are going from 32 to 52. This in chapter 11 in the Book of Mark. So Jesus predicts his death. verse 32. They were on their way up to Jerusalem, with Jesus leading the way. The disciples were astonished, while those who followed were afraid. Again, he took the 12 aside and told them what was going to happen to him. "We're going to go up to Jerusalem," he said. "The Son of Man will be betrayed to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death, and he will be handed over to the Gentiles," this would be the Romans, "who will mock him and spit on him, flog him, and kill him. 3 days later, he will rise." Imagine this is sort of like right before you go into some place with your parents, and they're reminding you sort of how to act right. Before we get there. The request of James and John. That was something I should have said, but I was going to say, because my next part is it's always, because in that speech with your parents, when you're about to go in there, it's usually, if you're from the income brackets that mine is, so don't ask for nothing kind of thing. The request of James and John, verse 35. Then James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to him. "Teacher," they said, "we want you to do for us whatever we ask." "What do you want me to do for you?" he asked. They replied, "Let us sit on your right and the other on your left in your glory." "You don't know what you are asking." Jesus said, "Can you drink the cup I drink, or be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with?" "We can," they answered. So I need you to really understand, Jesus' glory, right? His glory comes at the price of being crucified. So in order for this to work, instead of it being those other people on the cross with Jesus, it would need to be John and James on the cross with Jesus, sort of, on those other crosses with him. Because he's like, you don't even know what you're asking. Because it's his willing sacrifice of death as commanded, without the kicking and screaming. Like, he did ask, but he didn't kick and scream. I mean, I have full-on temper tantrum, so he was a good boy. He was a good boy. "We can," they answered. Jesus said to them, "You will drink the cup I drank, and be baptized with the baptism I'm baptized with." He said, "You will be crucified. But to sit at my right or left is not for me to grant. These places belong to those for whom they have been prepared." When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John. Because to them it's like, you think you're over us. You're better than us. And that's going to create problems. Think of it as like the Knights of the Round Table. It would create those kinds of problems. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them." So think about the servitude. And if you're not sure what that looks like, I recommend, there's a TV show, it's called Spartacus. You cannot let children watch this. It's an absolute no. It's going to be pretty graphic, pretty gory, and lots of debauchery. Lots and lots of debauchery and death. But that would be the Gentiles, if you needed to see an example of lording it over them. And their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. See that? Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Humbleness gets you into heaven. Trying to micromanage Jesus gets you nowhere. And whoever wants to be the first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. Jesus' example was out there doing the work. His head down, helping the people, doing the work. Not asking people to give him things. And to give his life as a ransom for many. So, you have to think. Blind Bartimaeus receives his sight. Verse 46. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, that is the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man. "Cheer up, on your feet, he is calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. I would too. If I'd been blind and somebody was like, "Oh, you want your sight back? No problem. Here's your sight. Go ahead. Now you can see." Yeah. I'd follow him around too. And on a spiritual sort of metaphysic level, that is kind of actually what happened for me. I was pretty young. And it was more like I wasn't feeling well. And it was like, since I have to be home from school, which for me was bad news. I have to be home from school. I'm going to sit here and do my best to read this Bible until I feel better. And that was sort of like with not much interaction with the church because my parents weren't going to the church. I'd been baptized. Christened is how other places would have put it. Dedicated, because I was a Baptist. But they didn't like the new pastors, so they stopped going. Reading the Bible was not their idea, but mine. So, that is kind of how it worked for me. That's why I've been following them around there since then. So, in a few more minutes, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy, and we're in Bible study. I'm an ordained minister. We're in the NIF, and we will be till the end of 2025. We are in Psalms, book 2, and we are doing Psalm 46, which is for the director of music of the sons of Korah, according to Alamoth. Nobody really knows what it is, but they think it's maybe a musical term. It's a song. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Though its waters roar and foam, and its mountains quake in their surging. Selah. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in an uproar. Kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice and the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Selah. Come and see the works of the Lord, the desolation he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bows and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Selah.